Well, my name is Mathias, and I am the daughter of a victim of domestic violence. When I was 14 years old, my stepfather walked into my bedroom, December 6, 1992. I remember it like it was yesterday. Attempted to steal my innocence, stabbed me 13 times, and left me for dead. Beat me beyond recognition. I don't know how I survived that night. I know that I had an inward resolve, an inward fortitude, and a strong, strong relationship with God that spared my life that night. I remember, even in thinking about my childhood, that my mother was in and out of relationships that were violent. I remember witnessing that. Never thought that it would take her life. Fast forward several years, growing up from a freshman in high school to a high school graduate and then a freshman in college, I meet the quote-unquote love of my life. And I was looking for that connection because my family unit had been destroyed and I wanted a family. And I married a man, had 2 beautiful children, but eventually the relationship became violent. And it was at that moment that I realized that I had to get out of this relationship, if not for me, for my daughters. And that was the moment that I decided to escape. After you leave a violent situation or you go through a violent situation, a lot of times people think that that's it. They feel like I'm out, I've escaped. There is a point in your life where you're stuck. I was stuck emotionally as a 14-year-old girl because I had really never dealt with the post-traumatic results of that childhood trauma. Not only that, being married and going through trauma, I hadn't dealt with that. And so I remember just going through life and just going through the motions. I'm a survivor. I'm going to win this. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to raise my children as a single mom. I'm going to, be strong. We're going to get through this. I remember coming to a place of brokenness and realizing that I cannot continue to go through life on my own. I was in another city, no friends, no family. Came back home to my hometown, and my healing process really began. I was in a safe place. I remember reaching out to people but not really knowing what I needed.
Sure.
But I knew that I couldn't be the only person going through this.
Right,
I knew
right.
that somebody else had to have experienced this.
Right.
I knew something wasn't right. I knew I needed to be whole and healed, but I didn't know how.
Right.
And so from that reaching out, I connected with an organization called Sista Keeper Empowerment Center. And I began to just go through this process, unbeknownst to me, of teaching and facilitating groups of girls who were my age when the traumatic experience happened. And as I began to build those relationships with these girls, I started to realize this is something that I didn't get because I didn't have my mother. Now, these girls had their mother, but they were still missing valuable pieces that only someone else from the outside would pour into them. So how much more does a motherless daughter need support? How much more does a victim of violence need support? And so that's where For Our Daughters was birthed from. It was birthed from someone who is a survivor, who realized that there is a level of support, post-traumatic care, and need that only can come, from organizations and people who are willing to reach out and support.
Now, you mentioned Sista Keeper, and we have Tracie Berry-McGhee here from Sista Keeper. Tell us about Sista Keeper.
Well, Sista Keeper is a nonprofit organization. It's for girls and women, and it focuses on prevention, intervention, and awareness. We focus on building self-awareness, diversity, leadership skills for girls ages 8 to 18. The biggest part of it is being a keeper to yourself first, and then being able to be a keeper to your community and your sister. And that's one of the biggest parts that Chai offered, was herself. And when you find yourself being vulnerable enough to share your story, then you grow from that process.
Sure.
Because you're able to own it and move forward. And that's what she allowed the girls to see, the inside out. She's inspired us all through not only her music, but her being authentic to herself. And a lot of times our girls don't see that in the community. They see television, society, media, but they have an opportunity to see strong women finding their purpose and walking in their purpose. Awesome. And that's what she offered. And our girls get to grow from that process. So we do support groups, we do prevention, and we do awareness.
Awesome. Now you mentioned Chai and her music. So you all have collaborated with some others, I believe, right? For a concert. Yes?
Yes.
When is the concert?
The concert is Sunday, October 20th.
Okay.
It'll be at 6 p.m. You can find out more information at inspiredsoulmusic.com.
Okay.
Inspired Soul Music is an indie record label that I started, several years ago. And I self-produced and recorded my first CD. And Tracie was on my first CD project. We did a duet together called I Let Go. And it was a spoken word and musical piece. We produced that project, and I just kind of went on I'm going to sell my CDs out of the trunk of my car type, movement.
Do whatever you have to do.
And it wasn't something I was really skilled at. It was just a gift that I had that I knew I needed to share with the world, and I couldn't wait on somebody to give me a record deal. I couldn't wait to be discovered on American Idol. It was a faith walk. I couldn't wait for that. I had to just do what was what was within me. And so in sharing that gift with the world through the CD and, of course, concerts, and even in my circles, I would sing for the girls. We would write original songs. If it is to be, it's up to me. No matter what I see, I have destiny and purpose on the inside of me. And that became our theme song for our circles. And so music and art and poetry is a part of the healing process that I have used for years. Writing in my journal, singing, partnering with other people who also have creative gifts. That's a healing process in itself. And so the For Our Daughters event, and now our sons, is about expressing healing. It's about expressing positivity through creative arts and letting people know that this journey cannot, you can't walk on this journey by yourself.
Sure.
You can't walk on this journey by yourself.
Sure. So tell me how I can get in contact with Sista Keeper.
You can contact us through our website. It's www.sistakeeper.com. And it is sister with an A. Because we all have biological sisters, but we are all sisters.
Yes. And the site for the event.
Yes, inspiredsoulmusic.com. I also would like to mention Well of Life. Well of Life is another one of our partners who will be supporting us on the For Our Sons piece.
Okay.
For Our Daughters was the original vision.
Sure.
But with the state of violence in our community, we decided to reach out to our sons as well. And so Well of Life has partnered with us to be able to provide care and support and resources to the gentlemen in the St. Louis community. So we're really, really appreciative of their support, and their website is welloflifestl.org.
Very good. Thank you to both of you for being on the Create a New You show today. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.